I'm Jim Check. You're watching Kelowna Now and Kamloops Now. We have with us Vanessa Gamel owning Tumbleweed Toys, and we're here to talk about the GST holiday that starts this Saturday. And it's been put, a lot of that pressure has been put on local small stores and that to kind of change all your pricing. How big of a hassle is that for you, Vanessa?
Well, we have over 26,000 SKUs in our system. And with the program that we use, we would have to download it all into some Excel files and then go through manually and change all of the ones that need to be changed.
Because it's not all
Which,
toys, right? It's not all
eh,
toys.
it's not all toys. If you have
Mm.
a Lego set that's age over 14 years, it doesn't count. Games don't count. Crafts don't count. Art supplies don't count. We carry decorative items, ornaments, cups and bowls for kids. We have all that kind of stuff. That doesn't count. So we have probably a third of what's in the store wouldn't need to be changed, and then the rest would. But we would have to manually go through each SKU and change it, which
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Because you think if you're going to do this 2 month thing, just say no GST. Why not just take a complete GST break? But instead of they're saying, oh, you got to pick and choose, like for a store like yours, 26,000 SKUs, and it's for 2 months.
right. So our workaround for that is because it's basically impossible to get that done by Saturday when we open. And we can't really make the change until we close Friday night either. So there's just less than 12 hour or a little over 12-hour turnaround. So our workaround is actually our staff will have to change each item as they ring it in at the till. They will have to go through and change the product tax rate.
Yeah, and then you obviously you'll get some discussion from some of the patrons, which will say, "Oh, there's no GST on that," and you're just like, "Well, no, it is." And then it'll be a bit of back and forth on.
There absolutely can be. I've kind of made a cheat sheet that we're going to post at the tills that show all the items that will have the GST on them still. So people should have a heads up as to what they will get taxed on. I'm hoping for my staff's sake that people will be patient and understanding and know that
Yeah.
this was really given to us with not enough warning and not enough clear rules set around what's taxable and what's not.
And I think the window, 2 months, really doesn't make a lot of sense because I mean that's a big switch to make, and just for 2 months, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
Oh, absolutely. With the amount of work that would go into changing it all now, we're going to have to go back and do the exact same thing again in February. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't think what they're doing is actually going to save the consumers as much money as what it's going to cost business to try and implement all the changes.
Yeah.
And they're losing all the revenue from all the GST that they're not collecting too.
Yeah, and I imagine when it comes time to do your GST returns, which it was kind of simple before, because like here's your total revenue, and then it's around 5% of that, because most stuff is GSTable, and then all of a sudden now it's like, well, I can't use my kind of like fail-safe check to make sure everything's done right.
Yeah, I'll leave that to the accountant.
Yeah, but that'll cost you more money too, because they're going to do some testing, and I bet you that's going to cost you, like if you take an accountant at like $150 an hour or something like that,
Yeah.
or and they're going to probably do 4 hours of testing to make sure you did it right, and then maybe they get a partner to review it. So that might add, I'm going to guess, anywhere from $5,000 to $2,000 on your accounting bill.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be more money for accounting. It's going to be more time for the staff to make the changes at the till. It's going to be time consuming. And we may lose customers that are mad because they think they need to have a tax come off a certain item. And,
Mm.
there's just a lot to it that's just not clear for us and for the customers.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, and I don't really want to get too deep into the weeds on the political side of it, but just like they kind of put it out there as like GST off groceries and necessities when we know it's not. There's no GST on groceries, and like diapers, you could say is a necessity in that, but there shouldn't be GST on that stuff in the first place. But
Yeah.
but like to just select some toys and like some things, and like I've seen the list, right? I mean, I'm an accountant as well, and I saw the list. And I'm just like, it almost reminds me of the funny one with the lobster, like raw lobster no tax, cooked lobster tax, cooked lobster but cool no tax. So I mean, you're just like, it's almost like you have to become the judge and jury at the till and decide what's taxable.
That's exactly what I think the problem is there's just so much to it that isn't clear enough. Like it's very
Yeah.
open to interpretation. So we have what we think is going to be correct, but our customers and maybe the CRA may think something else is correct. It's just
Yeah.
it's not clear.
But I can tell you your accountants are going to nitpick every one of those things, and they're going to go through it and make sure you did it right, and that's going to cost you more money because um, I think what the consumer hears, no GST on toys. That's all they hear, right? No GST on toys, and they're going to go in there, and you're going to say, well, that doesn't qualify, and they're going to take their anger out on the first person that's near them, and that's going to be your staff.
Which is unfortunate because at Christmas we're already, quite busy, quite overworked, and it
Yeah.
literally rolls out on the busiest retail day of the entire
Yeah.
year. So it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna be really well
Yeah.
done.
And lots of times, it's a kind of a happy moment. They're picking up the toy. They think it's going to be great. And all of a sudden it turns into a negotiation at the till, right?
Yeah, which isn't fair because the staff, they're trying to provide good service, they're trying to do their best, and when they're put on the spot like that, it's going to be an uncomfortable situation for everyone involved.
I'd really like to follow up with you after to see what the accountants charge you when you do your GST return.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I guess we'll see.
So you're prepping, you provide the returns and they're doing the returns for you, or?
Yeah, we'll have them review everything to make sure that it's done properly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because then, yeah, if you get audited and then all of a sudden it's even like that $2,000 turned into 10.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah.
and
There's a lot to it behind the scenes that is not my forte. So I leave that part to the experts.
and the sad thing is that the Senate came out and said that this is going to be a net benefit to most Canadians are under $5, like on
Yeah,
average.
I saw that. I saw that. And I think you had to spend $1,000 or $2,000 over the 2 months to get this benefit of whatever amount it was, $100 or something like that. And yeah, it just doesn't seem like the hassle is worth it. Like you're gonna save 5 cents on a dollar, $5 on a
Yeah.
hundred. Like it just
I
it's
think if they would have wanted something to give to Canadians, they probably could have come out and said something that's more permanent, like we're taking the GST off all food or something, instead of and all kids stuff, maybe everything like all children's toys and like permanently, as opposed to
absolutely.
2 months and then certain toys. Because like who decided this list? That's the weird part, right?
Yeah, the list is so convoluted. I don't understand how they came up with it. I feel like it was probably just thrown together like, "Oh, this is a great idea." Pat myself on the back and then throw it out there. I don't think there was consultation with small business or the business community at all.
So my advice to you is, and this is a joke, get a bunch of stickers that say puzzle, and everything you're selling is a puzzle.
Perfect. Then they're all exempt.
That's right. You just stick puzzle right on the front of it because it's a puzzling toy, right? So,
Yeah, that's right. Perfect.
because otherwise, like it becomes really hard, right? So,
Yeah,
especially like I said, in your busy time of the year, um,
absolutely. Yeah,
stores full, and then the negotiations turn into, and then people are going to talk about it, and they're going to, like some people are going to complain about the government, some people are going to complain about your staff or whatever, or just the GST in general. And it's tough
I
slugging.
really I really hope, like, we have amazing customers. Our customer base is fantastic. So I really hope that they just come into the store understanding that we don't really know what's going on with this. We're doing our best and like
Yeah.
have patience. And if there are issues with their receipt and they don't think that we did it right, they can come in, they can talk to me or one of our supervisors and not take it out on the young staff who are working at the till. They can also go to the CRA with their receipts because I know that the Canadian Federation of Independent Business is lobbying for the customers to be able to go to the CRA and get reimbursed in the future if they have issues with how they
That
were
should
taxed.
be, you should get that refund in about 6, 7 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I make
Yeah,
a joke, but it'll be a while if that's
yeah.
what you're going to do, right?
I think
So,
if it was something big ticket item, like we don't sell things that are thousands of dollars, but I can see if a customer was put out because they were charged GST on something that was like $5,000 or whatever. But on $20, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
how's your Christmas season looking anyway?
Oh, really good so far. Super
Yeah,
busy. And that's one of the things they talked about too. They thought possibly people would be holding off until Saturday to go shopping, but we haven't seen that. We are
yeah.
busier now than this same time last year. So I don't see that the consumers are waiting for this great deal to happen on
Yeah,
Saturday.
because I mean, if you think like an average gift, I know you tell me what an average gift is that most people are buying. Is that the $50 range or
Yeah,
something?
at Christmas, it's around that. Yeah, for sure.
So $50 and you're taking off 5%, that's $2.50, right? So
Exactly.
it's not really making or breaking anybody like for $2.50, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I've seen that. Our foot traffic in here is the same or better
Yeah,
for
because I
sure.
think like most people when they go buy a child a gift, they're in that, like some, like maybe if it's your, like a grandchild, so maybe you're in 100. Do you know, but there's not so even on $100 gift, it's $5, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's I mean, it is a lot if you add it up over a period of time and all of that. Like if they completely eliminated the GST, it would be
yeah,
fabulous. But
for sure.
for such a
I'm
short
all
period of
for.
time,
I'm all for eliminating GST. We had, I think it was Kretchen that said he was going to get rid of it completely, and then he changed it from 7 to 6 to 5, and then all of a sudden I think we changed governments, and all of a sudden that was gone, right? Because it was supposed to be a temporary tax as well.
yeah, yeah. I know there's some parties that are advocating for that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, just on business, it always seems like the load falls on business, which is a tough slug, right? Like,
It's yeah, I in this case for sure, it just seems very haphazardly thrown together without a lot of
yeah.
forethought
So
put into how it would affect everyone.
yeah, I think we've covered that. What's the hot toys this year? What are the toys that everybody wants? Well, we have you.
Well, we're our hottest toy, which is sold out everywhere now. We just finished selling out this week, and it's sold out all over North America. Was the air tubes, which is this crazy contraption you put a ball in, and it shoots through the tubes and comes out on the other side. That was the biggest thing, and
Hmm.
it's all gone. Our next biggest thing right now is a toy called the Foosbots. They're like a handheld foosball toy. Instead of having
Oh
the
yeah.
big table, you have this little
Hmm.
guy that you can hold and you can play with it just on any surface. It's pretty cool.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine in different age groups, there's always different toys
Oh,
that are.
yeah. Always top category is Lego in every toy store. That's
Yeah,
always the
Lego.
top seller. But yeah, tons of board games and puzzles and stuff like that are always
Yeah,
big
we
at
have
this
a
time.
3-year-old granddaughter, so there's a lot of Lego in our house already, right? The
Yeah,
bigger
I bet.
blocks right now, but like,
Yeah,
I
the
mean, Lego
Duplo.
comes in
Yeah,
bigger and smaller, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That collection will just keep growing.
there you go. Toys keep growing too. Anything
Yeah.
else you want to add?
No, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. I'm staying positive. I hope that,
Yeah,
on Saturday, people come in with a positive mindset and patience and across the board at all retail stores that are having to deal with this. I hope that people understand like for the most part, shops that are small business are owned by people that are not tech experts, not tech savvy computer people. So it's going to be kind of clunky when it rolls out and it might not be done perfectly. So I
yeah.
hope people have patience.
26,000 SKUs, that's a lot, but I'm sure the grocery stores can top that and they're going to have just as much fun with this because not all the food is tax free too, right? So,
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Food and alcohols. I think wine is and beer is exempt, but not hard alcohol and, all those kind of things.
yeah, it's going to
Lots
get
of
like
small
some
businesses will
some
be
certain
happy.
snack foods aren't just like it's just like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
maybe the accountants came up with this because they just want to make some more money for Christmas.
Perfect for them. Yeah. All right on.
Just make it more complex, more and more complex as we go,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, we thank you for your time and we
Yeah, no
wish you all the
problem.
best in this Christmas season. We hope you have a
Thank
bountiful
you.
Christmas and that the shoppers are delighted and all the joy that those toys bring the kids out there.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And Merry Christmas to you guys too.
All right. Thank you for calling in and
Thank you.
thank you for watching Kelowna Now.
Thank you.
We don't just report the news, we live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local,